Hello and welcome to Weather Watch, Millersville University's exclusive weather news program. I'm your host, Curtis Silverwood. Let's start off by getting you caught up with the weather that made headlines in the past few weeks. This is your weather in 60 seconds. Super typhoon in the Philippines, flooding and cyclone on the island of Sardinia, and deadly tornadoes in Illinois are all in this edition of your weather in 60 seconds. Headed to the Philippines, where one of the strongest storms on record slammed into the country, killing more than 3,000 people and forcing more than 4 million from their homes. Typhoon Haiyan had winds recorded at 147 miles per hour, which makes it comparable to a strong Category 4 hurricane in the United States. Moving to the Italian island of Sardinia, where Cyclone Cleopatra killed at least 18 people as it brought heavy rains and severe flooding through the island. More than 17 inches of rain fell in 90 minutes, and some places the water reached 10 feet in the city of Olbia. Flying across the Atlantic back to the States, where Illinois experienced a fast-moving storm system that brought multiple tornadoes to the region. There were a few deaths and over 100 injured. One of the strongest tornadoes recorded reached an EF4 rating with winds up to 190 miles per hour. In total, there were at least 16 tornadoes that caused widespread damage with more than 500 homes destroyed. And that will do it for your weather in 60 seconds. Weather puzzles even the most experienced meteorologists. It's always changing, and new discoveries are made every day. Fortunately for us, our past can help us understand this ever-changing field. Join Weather Watch's Ben Bonner in the Blast from the Past, the history of meteorology.
During World War II, the American military realized that the weather would block their view of the enemy when using the radar. The military quickly responded and taught meteorologists how to find the targets through these disturbances. By 1943, the military had set up both surface and airborne radar for such observations. After the war was over, the project for weather radar did not stop, and in fact was supported by countries worldwide. The US then began to use the radars left from World War II to find out what storms looked like on the inside. However, when displayed on screen, the radar technology was not good enough to show the strength or intensity of the storm. So in 1959, research began on what we call the Doppler radar. The Doppler radar sends tiny waves through the air and bounces back when it hits something such as a rain droplet. Reflectivity maps display the intensity of the storm from the information that comes back from the Doppler. With this new information, warning systems were set up to relay to the public when strong storms were on the way. Since then, technology has advanced the system to what is now called dual polarization. This concept is different from Doppler radar because dual polarization sends two waves out instead of one. With the progression of radars alone over the past century, we can only imagine what the future holds. Reporting for Weather Watch, I'm student meteorologist Ben Bonner.
Thanks, Ben. So far this season, we brought you 3 hurricanes that made a great impact on the regions they devastated. Let's continue our countdown to our number 1 hurricane with our number 2 hurricane in the Weather Watch Top 5.
Welcome back to Weather Watch's Top 5. This next hurricane was very different in comparison to the others. This storm made its second landfall as an extratropical system. This is when a hurricane alters its tropical traits and transforms into a cold core cyclone. At number 2 on our countdown, we have Hurricane Sandy.
Hurricane Sandy formed on October 22, 2012 in the Caribbean Sea, with her highest winds recorded at 115 miles per hour and her lowest pressure being recorded at 940 millibars. In total, she was responsible for 286 fatalities and over $68 billion in damages. She affected the Greater Antilles, the Bahamas, most of the eastern United States, Bermuda, the coastal mid-Atlantic, and eastern Canada. Sandy first made landfall near Kingston, Jamaica on October 24th as a newborn. After she impacted Jamaica, she regained energy where she set her sights on Cuba, striking as a Category 3 hurricane. The following day, she made a second stop in the Bahamas. Jamaica was left with 70% of their residents without electricity and devastating destruction to homes. Sandy caused $100 million in damages. In Haiti, rain from the outer bands of the circulation caused major flooding, killing 54 people, causing food shortages, and leaving 200,000 homeless. Cuba experienced extensive coastal flooding and wind damage, destroying 15,000 homes, killing 11 people, and causing $2 billion in damages. The Bahamas estimated $700 million in damages, and Canada was left with an estimated $100 million in damages. After Sandy made her landfall in the Bahamas, she moved up the east coast, colliding with an upper-level trough through the mid-latitudes, where she began her transition to a cold core low-pressure system. By October 27th, she was no longer fully tropical. 24 of the United States were affected by Sandy, from Florida to Maine, with severely affected areas being New Jersey and New York. On October 29th, Sandy made her landfall near Atlantic City, New Jersey. When Hurricane Sandy was a Category 2 storm just off the coast of the northeastern United States, she became the largest hurricane in the Atlantic, with a diameter of 1,100 miles. Hurricane Sandy made allies with a full moon and caused a significant amount of flooding than originally intended. Reporting for Weather Watch, I'm student meteorologist Rosa Brothman.
Thanks, Rosa. Well, that's all we have for this episode of Weather Watch. Please be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at the addresses shown below. Also, check out our website, muweatherwatch.com, to view our entire collection of episodes. On behalf of the entire cast and crew, I'm Curtis Silverwood. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.